Good morning, Knicks family. What's popping with you? I'm glad that I'm here, and I'm sorry for the echo. Getting that out your way right now. There we go. Or maybe it wasn't an echo to you. I don't know. But anyway, good morning. What's popping? Great win last night. And we're gonna get this thing going, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about with the New York Knicks this morning before you get your football on. So let's get busy.
That's the G.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks won their second game in a row over the Washington Wizards, but they didn't make it easy for themselves. This was a team, the Washington Wizards, who came into this game depleted. They didn't even have Bradley Beal, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't even have Bradley Beal. The Knicks made it harder than they needed to make it. But ultimately, behind a pretty stellar offensive performance by Julius Randle, the Knicks were able to pull this one out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the game if you weren't able to see the game last night, which I'm sure you did. You see Julius Randle there with the fadeaway, turnaround fadeaway, and he knocks it home. Julius Randle played very well last night. Still had some turnovers here and there, but he played well. You see Mitchell Robinson catch the alley-oop from Elfrid Payton. We definitely need that guy to stay on the floor. Mitchell Robinson. He changes the game whenever he's on the floor, ladies and gentlemen. He definitely does. You see Mitchell Robinson with another dunk. His offensive rebounding is off the hook. Mitchell Robinson had 9 offensive rebounds last night. And a bunch of blocks. And the way that he affected the rim really did change the game whenever he was in there. See the Knicks, Damian Dotson get the steal. Back to Bobby Portis, who was back in D.C. The Knicks up 34-23 at this time, took a double-digit lead. The Knicks kept giving that lead back, which obviously bothered me. They kept giving the lead back where they should have been able to put this one away. As you see, Juju go to the cup and lay it in. Like I said, Julius Randle had a pretty good night last night. 16 rebounds, 33 points, 35 points, whatever he had. 64-62, the Knicks found a way to keep this game close, though, ladies and gentlemen. Somehow, some way, they kept this game close. Gary Payton II. I like that guy. I wouldn't mind having him on the Knicks. I just said it because I just seen his face, but I wouldn't mind having him on the Knicks. You see Taj Gibson dunk that one home. The Knicks up 71-68 in the third quarter. As Julius Randle goes to the basket once again. He gets the hoop and the harm. Julius Randle, he's playing well lately, ladies and gentlemen. And we're definitely going to talk about Julius Randle. I want to talk about Julius Randle because he's playing well lately. The Knicks won last night, 107-33. I'm pretty sure you've been through and seen all kinds of stats and highlights and all kinds of stuff. So I don't want to go over too crazy with too many stats for you. But we'll talk about a few. Last night, Julius Randle led the way for the Knicks with 30 points and he had 16 rebounds. So it wasn't 33 points. It wasn't 35 points. It was 30 points. 30 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. He also had 5 turnovers on the night. Marcus Morris, he was in foul trouble all night. He only had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. RJ Barrett had 14 points, 5 rebounds. Bobby Portis had 17 points and 3 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson had 9 points and 9 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson also had 2 blocks on the night. The Washington Wizards are a team that scored 121 points per game. Of course, Bradley Beal was not playing, and he's their leading scorer. Okay, so, that obviously makes a difference. But last night, the Knicks were able to hold the Washington Wizards to 34.4% shooting. Now, they still shot 40% from 3. And they only shot 77.4% from the free throw line. The Knicks grabbed 56 rebounds. The Wizards 49. The Knicks had 25 assists last night. You like that? You like that. They had 25 assists, 5 steals, 5 blocks. They did have 21 turnovers, though. That's the reason why the Wizards were able to remain in this game, because the Knicks had 21 turnovers on the night. Either way, I'll take it. I will always take a win. You better believe that. I will always take a win. The Knicks got a win last night. They got a win last night. Good win. Now, Portland comes to town. We got smacked by Portland a couple weeks ago. And it's going to be a big game. Why? Because, you know, Melo's coming back to the Garden and all that good stuff. All that good stuff, man. Let's take a listen to Coach Mike Miller after the game. And then after we talk about Mike Miller, I want to talk about Julius Randle. And if Coach Mike Miller has unlocked Julius Randle's game, and you'll see some of the numbers under Coach Mike Miller. So let's take a listen to Coach Mike Miller, and then we'll get into talking about Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we'll get to Coach Mike Miller. Give me 1 second. You see, I had to restart my computer because, you know, every once in a while things start acting funny around here. You know, I'm just glad you can hear me. And Coach Mike Miller.
Coach, congrats.
There you go.
Thank you.
Big night for Julius. I mean, he's had 3 straight 30-plus games here, but, you know, what he just told me was that he feels like it, when we were talking about his rebounds, the 16, that it wasn't about being physically better than these guys. It's about finding his openings to take advantage. Are you seeing that more from him from a nightly basis?
Well, you said it in your opening statement. He has been fantastic. He's had obviously a very good year. These last 3-4 games, whatever it's been, he's played at such a level, and it's not just the scoring. He's doing so many different things, but the scoring is all timely. It's when we need a basket. He's got, you know, such a confidence about him. He's making all the plays. He's really conscious of doing the other things. He's really impacting winning.
And when you take a look at this first half of the game, Bobby Portis was big. What did you see from him there?
Well, the entire second unit was really good. When they came in, immediately they impacted the game. The energy was terrific. We started to get some deflections, get some steals. We got out in transition. We found some baskets. We got to the paint. Bobby made shots. The guys that were playing with him really did a good job spacing and moving. And they did a great job.
Defensively, Coach, you hold the Nets to 27%. Tonight, the Wizards to 34%. What are you seeing from your defense? Where are you seeing the consistency that you're trying to build? Well,
I think, you know, at times they really challenged us. You know, they made some runs where they made threes. They made some runs where they beat us down the floor. They made some runs where they offensive rebounded a little bit. But the one thing I don't think we completely broke in those segments, we were able to kind of bounce back and get a couple stops. But you know, down the stretch, we had big stops. You know, we had a shot clock violation. We had a couple of big rebounds. We had a big block. We had a lot of plays down the stretch when you have to make plays.
I think you had one stretch here when you guys were down 92-91. I think 12 out of 13 shots they missed. Is that your defense, you feel, or?
I think when you go through that, we're hopeful that with our defensive energy, we can, you know, make it where it's tougher to make shots down the stretch, and they have to work for everything and not give up anything easy. And I think if you do that, then, you know, the percentages will go with you where you'll be able to get some stops. But I mean, they made a lot of shots and they made different runs in the game, so you have to give them credit, you know, making shots.
You've talked about, you know, Alfred stepping up, and it looked like Frank seemed to be more in control tonight. I mean, how did you like his poise tonight?
I thought, you know, again, talking about that second unit, I thought Frank did an outstanding job when he came in. He was part of that defensive energy where he was able to get deflections and lead to the runouts. He was playing with pace. He was really trying to keep people involved, you know, and we were playing against changing defenses out there and different things. And you know, no one thing was going to work for the whole game. So we had to keep adjusting and going through it. And I thought our guards did a good job of trying to keep that, you know, momentum and not have lulls with our production with the offense.
Do you feel like Julius has become a better decision maker over the last month or so? It seems like his turnovers are down and his scoring efficiency is up. I mean, what do you think of that, and what do you attribute it to?
Well, I think he's, I think part of it may be the chemistry of everybody coming together. I think we are playing off of each other. I thought we had some great possessions. One time it even lasted one pass too many tonight, that we kept moving the ball. And those are the kind of possessions that I think will help us that we have to win with. And so, with Julius's impact there, I think he's playing off of his teammates. I think they're finding him in good spots, and I think he's playing with, a great deal of confidence, and you see his skill level coming out.
Do you think he has a better balance now of when to pass, when to shoot? It seemed like sometimes was tilted one way or the other too much earlier in the season.
Well, I think he's done a good job reading the defenses. I think he's taken what's there. I think the rest of our guys are doing a good job of putting him in position, how to space away, how to read double teams and come back and find openings, and we made some timely shots in those.
We credited you for putting him in better spots in the last 11 games or so. I mean, did you see something that needed to change with Julius when he took over as the head coach?
Well, I think Julius is being nice. I think he's sharing the credit around there. It's the players make the plays, and I'll give the players the credit across the board. It's him, it's his teammates, it's the way they're executing. And the way they're playing consistently, sustaining their efforts. When something's working, we're staying with it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Julius Randle for a minute. All right, because he started off the year, and everybody was, including myself, was panicky, upset. Obviously, because Julius Randle wasn't performing as we expected. We don't know how much had to do with Coach Fizdale. I suspect a lot had to do with Coach Fizdale. I wasn't happy with the way Coach Fizdale was using him. Pretty sure you weren't happy with the way that Coach Fizdale was using him. But then a lot had to do with Julius Randle, trying to be the man too early, too quick. Right? Trying to force that issue, trying to prove that he's worth $62 million. But lately, and under Coach Mike Miller, he's played much better. Let's take a look. Under Coach Mike Miller, this is Julius Randle. He's averaging 22.6 points per game, 9.6 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 2.1 turnovers. He's shooting 47.1% from the field and 28.9% from the field. This is under Coach Mike Miller. All right, under Coach David Fizdale's numbers were much different. He was climbing. He was averaging 16, 17 points a game, shooting 43% from the field. And the Coach Mike Miller, things have been drastically different with Julius Randle. The last 3 games, he's really stepped up his play. And I know I hollered and hallelujah about his 3-point shooting, but it's definitely changed the last 3 games, which has helped his point average the last 3 games. The last 3 games, Julius Randle's averaging 32.7 points per game, 9.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 3.3 turnovers, shooting 52.9% from the field and 46.3% from 3. Those are the last 3 games, ladies and gentlemen. So my question to you, Andy, I got you in the chat. Do you think that Mike Miller has unlocked Julius Randle and what we thought we were getting when we signed him to that $60 million deal? All right, that's what I want to know from you. Do you think did Mike Miller unlock Julius Randle? And can we expect this going forward from Julius Randle? Andy, what do you think?
Yes, and what's up? Firstly, happy to be back. You know what about Randle? This might be an really unpopular thing I'm gonna say, but I think Miller still didn't have time to tweak the whole team's tactics on offense and stuff like that. He did the minor things that guys can, do after, a huddle or a chat or stuff like that. They didn't switch many things on offense. The most important thing that we were looking for is for Julius not to bring up the ball off the court. That stopped, so I'm happy with that. The numbers went really in a better way, so the percentages are higher and stuff like that. Only thing that bothers me still, and I think this is not on the coach, this is more on Randle, is the shots that he's taking. When you look at those shots, I really don't feel confident when I see what he's trying to do. He battles in the paint. I know he makes a couple of those shots, but imagine if you would have a player, with the other, surname in that jersey. Would you be happy if your player was taking shots like Randle is? Those are really bad shots for me at least, and I'm not gonna agree that he might be playing better, but it's the percentage thing that he makes those shots more often, but still most of his shots are really bad shots, and I'm not gonna say that he's really that much better, but the numbers say a little bit different, but the eye test still hurts me.
So you basically think that right now he's just hot. Oh, he's just shooting well.
It might be that he's hot. Maybe there's a minor things that he upgraded, but it's not still the player I would like him to be, like the leader. Because another thing is that I don't think he's the number one guy. That's the thing. But he's signed to a contract, and at this squad, he's looking like the number one guy from salary standpoint, from game standpoint, right? But I think he would be a perfect third option on a scoring thing, offense to be, on a successful team. I don't think you can rely on him being the first guy, and he's not the leader. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he's not a leader. I don't. I will say I see him trying, but I don't know if he naturally is, and we'll see what that maturation process is like. Him, as far as him being the number one guy, I don't know if he's the number one guy on the team. He's the number one guy probably on this team, right? That's when it's all said and done. Although Marcus Morris, started off in that manner, because he kind of just has that mojo about him. But for this team, when it's all said and done, he'll end up being the number one guy. Do you think that management actually looked at him as, okay, he's our number one guy going forward? Or do you think that they thought of him as a piece?
You know what? I think for this year, I think that they had it in plan that they're going to trade Morris, and I think that's still going to happen. I think they wanted Julius to be the main guy and even the leader because of his basketball skills. So, that the guy's going to look up to him because he's going to score the most points. He's going to, be relentless on the offensive boards and stuff like that. But, from the leader standpoint, you need a vet like we have Taj, like we have Marcus Morris to hold on, the young guys accountable, because you got to remember, Julius is still 24 or 25 years old, right? So from the maturity standpoint, he's not the oldest guy. He's not going to have that the young guy's not going to have him in the year all the time, and they won't respect him like a guy like that's going to be, like 34, 35, that's seen a couple of situations in the NBA already. So I think they looking for him to be a pillar of the team, because they look at. I don't think they're going to trade him. That would have to be some crazy deal that's going to pop up, and only for a power forward, position guy. Because I don't see them saying that they were doing a mistake signing Julius to a contract. And if you even look at the contract, $63 million for a 24, 25-year-old guy that's going to be a main guy on your team at this season. Isn't that a bad number? So, I'm not thinking they're going to say it's going to be, their fault and stuff like that. I think they're going to stay with Randle, and depends what's going to happen, on the free agency or on the trade deadline, right? If they can pull up a real star, or maybe not a superstar, but maybe even an all-star, I think that they would, talk to Randall. Okay, you're going to be the second guy now on the team and stuff like that. But still, I don't see us having a blockbuster deal on the table, just waiting for the deadline to happen.
Yeah. Can I just say thank you? I just want to say thank you, right? Everyone thinks that I just relentlessly defend Julius Randle. I don't relentlessly defend Julius Randle. At least some of the guys in the YouTube, in the video chat, I think that I just, he's like my favorite player ever and all this kind of stuff. And it's not even like that, right? There's a lot of things that I hate that he does. I just don't think it's as bad as half or most of our fans were making it about Julius Randle. I never did. You know what I mean? And I always felt like his contract was not that bad. I mean, $62 million?
63 for 3 years.
$63 million.
Like 21 million.
21 million a year. I mean, I never thought that his contract was really bad. Although Mark and a couple other people really disagree with me. Were like, oh my God, it's $20 million a year. I'm like, bro, it's really not that bad. For a guy like you said,
when you look at it, man, Taj and Portis got paid almost 15, man, and the disparity of the numbers wise and even the role wise, right? The role which they have on the team is a huge difference, right? Those guys, you can skip them on the rotation even. If you skip Randle in the rotation, that's going to be a hard thing to do. But don't get me wrong, man. I still think if he would settle for the open shots and didn't barrel in the paint and do crazy stuff around the rim like he does, I think he could be really a good player because he has the potential. Just he has to figure it out on the offensive end. Because even on defense, I knew that he's going to be bad, but he's not like that bad. Like he's laying a carpet for the guys to drive in the paint, right? He at least tries. He's maybe not the best thing he can do on the court, but it's not like like we saw a couple of our stars in the past, man. So.
Yeah, some of his decisions and let me explain some of the things that I really don't like that he does. Right, I like him as a player, and I like that he's a beast down low, can really score the basketball. He's a bruiser. I mean, once he gets going to the rim, there's not many people that's going to be able to get in front of him and stop him. The things that I don't like you said, is gets in trouble getting into traffic. That double pump at the rim, I talk about that all the time. I can't stand that double pump. He gets in there and he double pumps. That really does bother me. And then, like, he jumps and passes. Like, when he goes to the basket, he gets in the air, and then when he gets in the air, it's like he's looking for the best pass. When he holds the ball in the air, sometimes he even comes close to traveling, right? Before he gets the ball out of his hands. And that causes a lot of his turnovers. The way when he goes to the basket and he kind of gets in the air and holds it for a little bit before he makes a pass. That bothers me too. But these are things, like you said, Ed, he's 25 years old. These are things that he still can work on and fix. People act like he's 30. He's 25. People act like he's 30 years old. He's 25. So, I don't know. Julius Randle is playing well right now. We'll see if he can continue to play well. And, see if he can continue to grow as a player under Mike Miller again. Just to show you some stats, under Mike Miller, Julius Randle's averaging 22.6 points per game, 9.6 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, and 2.1 turnovers. This is 11 games under Mike Miller. And he's shooting 47.1% from the field. He's also shooting 28.9% from the three-point line. This is under Mike Miller, 11 games under Mike Miller since Mike Miller's taken over. Then the last 3 games, Julius Randle shooting is averaging 32.7 points per game. He's grabbing 9.7 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists per game, 3.3 turnovers, shooting 52.9% from the field and 46.3% from 3. And let me say this, those 3-point shots, it's not like he's shooting 2 shots. The last 3 games, this guy's been shooting 7, 8, 9 3-pointers a game. And it looks like, and I was complaining about it. I was like, why is this guy shooting so many threes? But now he's starting to hit them. And, as long as he's hitting them, I'm not going to complain about it, as long as they're good shots. When a lot of his 3-point shots, that's the one shot I will say, a lot of those are open. And He shoots open 3-point shots. Somebody penetrated and they kick it to him and it's open. I don't see him shoot too many bad 3-point shots. So we'll see if Julius Randle will be able to continue to play the way he's been playing of late. Those are some really good numbers. I think his game point average right now is up to 18. He's still averaging 9.5, 9.6 rebounds per game. He may have come close. I'm not going to say may have come close. He's probably taken over from Marcus Morris as the leading scorer on the team, since Marcus Morris, the last few games hasn't really played too well. Has Marcus Morris's trade value dipped? Because the last few games been kind of iffy, right? Shot selection, is not the greatest. I'm going to tell you the truth. Last night, watching while I was there at the game, when he brought Marcus Morris back in the game, I was like, no, keep him out. I didn't want Marcus Morris to come back in the game because I didn't like the shots he was shooting. I didn't like the way he was playing. And it's been a few games recently that I wasn't happy with the way that Marcus Morris was playing. What do you think about Marcus Morris right now?
Yes, and actually, I'm gonna side with you on the Morris thing. Last couple of games were really, really bad. Still though, I'll take a bad Morris shot over a bad Randle shot. I don't know why. I just feel more confident, with the ball getting through the hoop when Morris takes a bad shot than Randle. It's just the thing that maybe it's the experience factor or stuff like that. I just saw Morris take those shots. I was thinking Randle's gonna have really a smoother way. Every Randle shot for me, except the 3-point, because they're not guarding him on the 3-point line, man. He has open shots from the 3, and if he doesn't have the ball, the opportunity to swing the ball further, I'm fine with those shots, the 3-pointers he's taking. Of course, not 10, 12 3-pointers a game, but 5, 6 for him is it's not a bad thing. Even if he's making them like a 30% over a little bit, 30% clip, that's not that bad. But and that's gonna open the driving lanes for him, because he always can put the ball on the floor and try to drive in the paint. So he has to take those threes. If he's gonna skip them, it's the offensive game for him. Down low is gonna be even worse for Julius. But Morris, I think when the rumors came out that the players started to privately ask for trades and stuff like that, I think one of those guys might be really Marcus Morris, and I think it got to him that there's no way the management is having anything on the agenda to keep him to the free agency, because mostly they're not going to try to resign him for more cash that he's getting at this year, right? So even like we saw the Spurs gave him a couple of million less. He just came here because he had those 3-4 million more per year, right? So I think he's going to look for a deal elsewhere, and I think even to finish this season, it will be better for him to play on a better team than the Knicks.
So you think Marcus Morris was one of the guys that asked for a trade?
Yeah, I think he realized that the front office doesn't have maybe not any interest, right? Because they're seeing him as the leader, the mental leader, let's call it like that, in the locker room, right? But I don't think when you're in his shoes, just think about it. They got you to the end of the season. They can get a first rounder, a late first rounder, right, or something for him. So you're thinking to yourself, man, that they really have anything, because I'm probably not going to come back in the free agency here. So for sure they're going to trade me, right? So why not? Maybe not like he asked for the trade. But I think he realized that he's going to be on the market and his name is going to be swirling around the reports and Twitter and news and stuff like that. So I think that might be a little bit bothering him. And it depends how's the thing in the locker room, because if players know that someone wants out, they might treat him a little bit different. They came in as a whole group. Nobody was, like alienated on the side and stuff like that. And now these things, around the trade deadline might start, spreading out in the locker room. So different things might be happening down there.
Yeah. No. And I agree with you. Once your teammates, believe that you've asked for a trade, or even if that you haven't asked for a trade, if they know and feel that you want to be traded, then that's definitely that definitely splits the locker room. You see the way it did. You see how it happened with Kevin Durant in Golden State, right? Guys get upset with that because they feel like you're turning your back on them, right? And for those who may not be aware, you should be aware. According to Ian Begley, several players have privately, in recent weeks, said that they prefer to be traded ahead of the February 6th trade deadline. Okay, so they haven't come to management, but they've said it privately to friends or to, acquaintances or maybe even to other players that they prefer to be traded before the February 6th trading deadline, which is now just a month and a half away. All right. And one of those players that many people that is reported wants to be traded is Dennis Smith Jr. He's one of those guys people report wants to be traded from the Knicks. According to Dennis Smith Jr., this is not true. All right. According to Dennis Smith Jr., this is what Dennis Smith Jr. had to say about it. He says, I like playing for the Knicks, so whatever I've got to do, I'm going to take care of that. I'm with the New York Knicks, so I try to be the best version of me with this team. Andy?
Well,
does DSJ want to be traded?
That's the thing that the PR guy tells you to say when you're going to be asked about whether you got to be traded or not, man. That's the perfect line. I don't want to be traded. I would like to play. How it's going to pan out, we're going to see. That's the thing that the PR dude has to say. That's telling you that you should be, around that. I don't think any player of these guys is going to say, okay, yeah, I asked for a trade because I'm not playing or stuff like that. We all know that this is a common thing. And like we said before the season, I don't know if you remember, we were talking about guys like Ellington, Bullock. They came from maybe a little bit better teams than the Knicks, because the Knicks were, the worst team last year, right? But his example, Ellington, he was playing over 20 minutes on a team, having maybe not a career year, right? But he was shooting really good and had that playing time. And for a guy that's looking for a contract because he's on a 1+1, so don't act like we're gonna re-sign all those guys. Probably all the guys that have 1+1s are gonna be gone. Maybe Taj is gonna stick around, but I don't see the rest of the guys. We don't know about Bullock, but Ellington and Portis, I think they're gonna be gone before the season. So I think he is on the curve of his career that he was thinking it's going to be a better thing for him, a better situation, and he's not playing over a guy like Dotson. And I love Dotson, but I think that Ellington came to the team thinking that he's going to get minutes over Dotson easily, and it's not happening. So it's a really bad situation for him, career-wise. So I think he also might be one of those guys that ask for a trade. Ellington, maybe Portis, but Portis is playing, good minutes, and he's having he had those couple of games, that he looked really, really good, right? But the consistency is tragic with Portis. You never know, is he going to be hot? Is he going to be not? The defense is not there, but at least you can count on him on the offensive end. But you don't know if he's gonna be shooting a good percentage this game or no. So he can plug a hole on a really good team, but I don't think for a bad team he's something valuable.
Yeah. Do you think Alonzo Trier wants to be traded?
Well, you know what? I think he's one of those guys as well, because he is deep in the doghouse. I think I understand that you can have, games, maybe not games, even practices that you don't look good on the defensive end. But if we are, down in a hole and nobody on the team can score, that's the perfect, game time, couple of minutes to insert Trier, right? He can give you buckets, off the bench, like in the first possession, the first time he touches the ball. And it's not going to be pretty maybe for us as team ball goes, but he can score. And sometimes guys like that are really valuable. We can see like Lou Williams, right? I don't think he's a great defender, but he can be a Lou Williams type guy. But if he's not going to get minutes, his career and the whole year is going to go, down the drain because you're not going to hear about him. And these guys maybe are not about the fame, but for a career of a 24, 25-year-old guy, if you're going to not going to get playing time, I think also Zoe has a contract for this and for the next year, right? Or he's going to be.
I think this is Zoe's last season. Not last season. His last the last.
Yeah, he's going to end. He's going to be a free agent right in the market. So that's even the worst thing for him. So if he's not going to get playing time, he's going to end up in the G League somewhere and has to fight for his career back. So any opportunity on even a bad team just to get minutes for 2 years is a big thing. So that's why Zoe can be one of those guys asking for trade.
You don't think Zoe will some other team that is maybe is more stable, that needs some scoring off the bench would be able to look at Zoe and say, we can use this guy?
I think the NBA didn't saw that much from Zoe. Every scout and GM knows that he can score off the bench, but I don't think he has that many more intangibles for him to fit on a really good team. I think he's one of those guys that, of course, if it's a good system, right, and the guys go in on a run or stuff like that, you can plug in a guy that doesn't bring nothing else but scoring, right? You can see those guys even in Miami. A couple of those players only can score. Those guys don't play defense, don't play nothing, but they as a team they look really good. But one-on-one defense is not a priority for those guys, but they can shoot the lights out. So he would fit in a system like that. But how many teams that have that system? Not many. Miami looks really good as a team that uses players to their strengths and hides their cons of their game. But also, like I said, he would fit perfectly in a team like Sacramento and Minnesota that don't have really good systems. But if you need a guy off the a spark of the bench, he can bring you something.
I'm gonna tell you what, I can fully see Alonzo Trier in Miami. I can see him fitting in Miami perfectly. He has, obviously, he's a guy that can score, and they're a high-scoring team, and I think he would fit in there offensively very well. I think that the type of mentality that Miami brings to the game, I think Zoe brings that same type of mentality to the game. I think he would fit in Miami really, really well. And he would excel there. I'm not saying he's going to turn into an all-star, but he would excel there. I think he would do very well in Miami under that type of structure. Because Zoe's got that hard-nosed type of attitude. I think he would do really well in Miami. And if the Knicks do not bring him back, and he's a free agent, I would love to see him go to Miami and play in Miami, because I think it would I think it would
and
help
then
his career.
that system allows you to take fast shots. You don't have to set up the whole offense and stuff like that. So that like I said, that's a really good system, but you have to have certain type of players for that system to work. And as we see that Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, those guys are almost the same guy that Trier is. Just those guys are getting minutes. He's always sitting at the end of the bench, getting like 2-3 minutes a game from the Knicks. So,
right.
his career might go, take him to Europe or China, and those guys are going to be getting big cash in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, I would love to see him. If this is the case, I'd love to see him go to Miami. I think he'd fit perfectly in Miami, and it'd be great for him. And if the Knicks, Scott Perry, Steve Mills, if you're trying to do right by your players and you're gonna move Zoe, talk to Miami, right? Try to do what's best for you, get something for yourself, and put him in a situation where he can excel. You know what I mean? Mark, what's popping, man? What's going on with you?
What's going on, man? Just finished trying to beat off this sickness, man. What's going on, dogs?
You sick?
Yeah, man. It finally got me, man. New York streets finally got me. God damn.
You got my man Mark hurting over there. What kind of sickness? What you got, the flu or something, man?
I got food poisoning from the other night, and it just trickled on down, and I got
food poisoning.
Rock bottomed. What's going on now, man?
I'm good, man.
Still
Doing
like
with food poisoning though, man. What's going on? What you eat?
You know what I had?
Well, where are you eating at? I told you stay out of them little bodega joints because sometimes they're not clean.
No, I wasn't eating out of bodega. I had I don't normally eat dairy, and then I had cheese in what I was eating, and then I think it was the cheese, man. I think it was the cheese because I don't eat cheese. I don't eat dairy food or drink milk like that.
Okay.
So I think it was the cheese. So from that, I woke up the next day, body was just all hurting, couldn't move for 2 days, didn't want to speak for nobody for 2 days. I was just out of it. So I just had pineapple throughout the last 3 days because I can't eat no solid food right now. My taste buds is on another level right now. So
I'm just making sure you ain't that, hitting some of them, hitting some of them lady spots over there in Queens, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make sure you're not doing that.
Nah, bro. I don't even I try to eat clean as much as possible, man. But, I had cheese just out of the blue, and the cheese just messed me up, man. So I don't even like eating dairy food like that.
All right.
Dairy's not for the human body, so.
So talk to me, man. Right now we talk about Dennis Smith Jr.
Listen, boy went out, bro. He thinks let me tell you something. Remember when I was saying that he really thinks he's really a star? That's his problem. He thinks that he's a starting point guard in this league. So, like I said, when people put stuff out in the media like that, he wants to start, Sim. The dude wants to start. You ever watch the dude body language?
Of course he wants to start. Listen, we knew that when Dennis Smith Jr. came to the Knicks, that he wanted to be and believes that he is the starting point guard. We knew that. Scott Perry, everyone knew that.
Yeah.
That's how that was him. All right.
And that's why Dallas wanted to get rid of him, because he valued himself way higher than the league projected him to be, which is kind of true what the league projected him to be. Like I said, he's just not a league guard.
Is that true though? Hold up. Whoa. Let me stop right there. I don't believe that's true. I believe the league. I mean, look at how many Knicks fans were complaining that we missed out on a star. And then you got LeBron James comes and backs that up, right? So if you're Dennis Smith Jr. and LeBron James comes out and says the Knicks made a mistake by not drafting Dennis Smith Jr., this kid is this, that, and the other thing, what would your head be like? How would you feel about that? You would feel like, yo, yeah, maybe I am that guy.
I would be big-headed. But then again, Sim, remember, the dude didn't want to give us his medical.
Well, yeah, I know that. I know all of that. I agree with you about all. I know all of that. I'm just saying, just speaking, you know, if you're a young kid and you hear,
listen.
you know, that everybody, you know, the Knicks drafted Frank Ntilikina, and then everyone's going crazy, not just LeBron and not just Knicks fans, but the media, everyone laughing at the Knicks for not drafting me, then I feel like, I get there, I feel like, okay, you know what? Yeah, they're gonna prioritize me. Because now they feel like they missed out on me. So they traded for me.
All right. But you know, my main thing is his tangibles that I don't like. He don't have tangibles for me to be my point guard, my leading point guard, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he don't have great tangibles to lead young guys.
Or intangibles. Intangibles.
Intangibles, intangibles to lead young guys and just to lead an organization from where we are to basically win a winning team. So I don't think you could. I don't think he has the capabilities of doing that because, again, watching him for 3 years, his skill set isn't leading point guard-ish to me. For me. You know, some people might like his athleticism. He don't even attack the paint anymore. He don't. His shooting, it's shooting like it got worse from Keith Smart. Listen, man, you come in, what I say, Sam? You come into New York, I don't want to see you playing it with no confidence. You have to have balls to play here, man. That's why I'm kind of mad that Trier might end up getting traded, because that's a dude that has the wherewithal and the assertiveness to play in the city. And I think things could just roll off of him.
He does.
And that's why, and this ain't Oklahoma City where you make millions of dollars and then you can go out the same night. No, this is New York City. After the game, you can do whatever you want. So you have to be really, really disciplined to play in this city and to live in this city. So it concerns me when we go after certain players, because when you pay them, it's like they're on a vacation because they know we suck. And we're full of mediocrity. So it's kind of, for me, with him, man, listen, for that news to come out, you know, I remember you say you don't believe everything, but then again, listen, the kid wants to be a starting point guard. He always talks about it. He gets very disgruntled, get very, very, very moody when he's at the starting point guard. You just see it in his body language, man. I tell you, when I watch his game, I don't even watch for the points. I just watch to see people body language and how they are on the court with each other, man. Because that's more important to me to be playing in the city, man. Because I don't want no suckers playing in my city. You know what I'm saying? If I'm paying you, like that. And if you don't want to be here, listen, man. Your jump shot not on. You don't have no confidence here. Listen, man. Whatever we get for the dude, just let him go. Let him go find his career and his starting role. Because I doubt he'll start anywhere. Because if you look at the league right now, everybody got a starting point guard.
Where in the league would Dennis Smith Jr. start? I can't think of a team in the NBA where he would start. As not right now. Maybe when he...
I say Washington Wizards.
At point guard? At point guard?
Yeah. Who's their starting point guard? Ish Smith?
Isaiah Thomas. They're not starting over Isaiah Thomas.
I thought he comes off the bench.
Ish Smith. I don't think he'd start over Isaiah Thomas or Ish Smith.
Well, you're right. You're right. So now let's think of another team. You can't say Sacramento. You can't say Phoenix. You can't say Utah. You can't say the Clippers. You can't say LA. You can't say Oklahoma City. You can't say the Pelicans. You can't say. Honestly, there's no team that you could. Well, you can't even say Detroit.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is probably the best option.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Minnesota, because
if
they
it
done
was
with
Minnesota,
T. They're done with T. Yeah, Minnesota's the best team.
If it was Minnesota, they got Jeff Teague. So would they be looking to move Jeff Teague?
He plays the bench, Sam. You don't see the boy play the bench?
I'm just saying, would they be looking to move Jeff Teague?
Yeah, but what I would do, if I was the Knicks, if they want Dennis Smith Jr., I'll give them one of the Dallas picks and Dennis Smith for the Culver kid. That's what I would do.
I like Culver.
Yeah, I like Culver because he has defensive instincts. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like him, but I don't know why they would move him for Dennis Smith Jr.
No,
You know,
but
just
I was tweeting the pot. I'll give him
you
one
know,
of the
I
Dallas
mean,
picks.
I'm saying just speaking realistically, because I've seen a lot of people mention Culver. I don't know if they're going to move him for Dennis Smith Jr.
Okay. Okay.
I wouldn't. I can't imagine that. I wouldn't.
Well, so Teague in a second round pick? That's what we
What's Teague's
we most likely
contract?
get.
What's Teague's contract?
I think Teague making at least 18
I
to
mean,
20.
when does it expire? That's my main concern. When does it expire?
It's off this summer. It's off this summer.
Oh, it gets off this summer.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
basically we get him in a second round pick because I don't think he's getting a first or a late first. He's that broken. And leagues watch other players and stuff like that. Timberwolves just probably taking a whiff on them because they really need a point guard. Because now, when you look at the Timberwolves now, with Carl Anthony out, they're going to try to keep him happy now. I doubt that he went out. You never said. But when things start to crumble like that, time is only, time is of the essence with teams with a player like that, especially at 20, is he 23 or 24? He's close, he's 4 years away from his prime. So, guys like that don't want to waste their time with a team that don't have no direction.
Right.
Or they have players, or they have another athlete on the team that's not producing along with the star player. So that's the problem there. But I would try to get Culver in that decimal because they want a point guard. So if they want a point guard, listen, I'll give you a first round and give me Culver. Fair deal. You want a point guard, and I'm giving you a first. Give me.
I don't know, man. Especially
supplies and demand.
I don't know, man.
The other team might be Detroit. They want to ditch Reggie Jackson's contract for sure. They would.
But don't Reggie got another year? Reggie Jackson?
No, I think not. No, he's ending this year. He has $18 million this year. Next year he's a free agent. So.
I don't want Reggie Jackson.
No, he's a cancer, but I think that those guys might take him because they got D-Rose.
I don't want Reggie Jackson either.
So,
but let's put it.
Yeah, he's another irrational, confident player, but he thinks of himself too highly at the starting point guard.
Yeah,
and I don't want that on my team.
Now here's another thing. We're talking about all this other stuff. Dennis Smith Jr. We're not going to see him for a while. We probably won't see him for a while. All right. Dennis Smith Jr., according to the New York Post, he's been diagnosed with an oblique strain, an ailment that normally affects baseball players and the type of injury that sidelined Aaron Judge, the Yankee slugger, for 2 months last season. So we're not exactly sure when Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be back playing for the Knicks.
So can I ask you a question?
So if they're going to be looking to trade Dennis Smith Jr.,
yeah,
it's not. I mean, you're not going to get a lot, man, because you're moving him at an all-time low.
Listen, Sam, as long as we could just get something other than nothing, I'm cool. But then again, Sam, when does he get minutes to hurt himself?
He did it in practice.
Oh, my God. Playing hard in practice, but not on the main floor?
It happened in practice, man.
He probably was playing hard.
For me, guys, if I can add something to this, Dennis Smith, I think that's an injury. I don't think this is the first time in history that I watch NBA, and it's been 30 years.
I never heard of nothing like that.
I never heard about an injury like that, but for sure, that's one of those injuries that you can't, diagnose the severity of it, right? So it can be okay, he's out for the Knicks. He gets traded and he's going to be back in the uniform for 2 games later on. So I think that's just the thing to keep him off the court for the Knicks, so it doesn't seem like he's that much trash.
Oh yeah, because Sim too. A lot of guys normally when they run out, they kind of protect themselves with injuries and stuff like that. So that's another marketing scheme too.
I don't think it. I'm being honest. I don't think this is just from what I'm reading. So I don't know anything besides what I'm reading. All right.
Did you say that he has a burn account on Twitter?
I don't know about that. I mean, listen. See, Mark wants to make this Mark wants this to be reality TV so bad. You know what I mean? Anytime there's any kind of drama, Mark is bringing it. If we start arguing, Mark is cheesing. Mark is in all of his glory when that happens, Andy.
Listen,
but
I'm just
hold up,
trying to
hold up,
process
hold up.
because-
Let me read this about Dennis Smith Jr. It
All right, go
says,
ahead.
after he played just 7 minutes and the Knicks lost to the Wizards on Monday night, obviously that was the previous game, Smith put in an extra workout and started feeling discomfort in his side. The team, they reviewed, they checked him out and everything, and they decided to shut him down during Tuesday's practice before it could get any worse. He said, I had felt it while getting in some work the night before practice. I felt a little something there. The next day in practice, we were going live, and I felt it again. I tried to fight through it. I felt some pain and pulling and came out of practice. The Knicks would not officially say when Smith will be back. Smith said he has never had this ailment before, adding, it feels like pulling at the side of my abdomen. We definitely eliminated the chance of re-aggravating it, Smith said. That's what we were trying to do. I'm not sure when I'll be back. I usually bounce back from stuff pretty quick, and I can't really say. Interim coach Mike Miller is kind of in the dark on Dennis Smith Jr.'s return date. He said he pulled something in his oblique. While he was playing, Miller said. It wasn't a collision. It was just some kind of movement when he did something. It pulled something. It's hard to say right now. We'll just have to see. I saw when he did it. He's been testing it and going through treatment as best as he can. We'll just have to see day to day how he feels.
Well, listen, man. It is what it is. He's out with an injury. What's new? He's been injured since he came in the league. So, it's just another injury on his belt.
Yeah, that's true.
And listen, man, the dude is just not made for New York. Just me personally, me watching him and just. So listen, if we get a second round pick, just anything, I don't care if it's an expiring contract. Just let this guy go somewhere where he can feel happy, because he's not happy. He's just not. He's not, because he's getting played. He's getting played in front of Frank. I know he thinks he's better than Frank. I know he thinks he's better than Frank, and I know he thinks he's better than Elfrid Payton. So in that case, because he values himself so highly, listen, man, I'm going to find a team for you where you can get starting playing time. If that team gives you that, I'm going to find you a place. And you know what? It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, I never wanted him to get it, and I'm not disappointed. It's just like, you know what? Just remove the guy off my team so we can continue to do whatever we're doing on this team. So, because if you're not happy to be here, I don't want you. I'm not even going to pay attention to you. You're just the 15th guy on the bench to me now. Thank you very much.
All right. Let me see what Nate and Guillermo have to say. Doesn't have to be about DSJ. Nate, go ahead, man, because we're gonna move on from DSJ in a minute. I want to talk about Reggie Bullock, but go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, man? How was the game?
Good. What'd you say?
So I saw the crowd. It wasn't too hot.
Well, I mean, it picked up. I mean, by the time you got to the second quarter, it was full. It was full.
Yeah.
It was full. It wasn't sold out, but it was just under sold out.
Yeah, you had some good seats. How much you pay for those seats? I'm just kind of curious.
I can't give that information away.
Oh, okay.
Can't give that information away how much I paid for those seats.
Okay.
But they were good seats. They were fun seats, huh?
So they look like good seats. I was just curious.
And they were pretty good.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so I saw the game, and let me say this about Mike Miller. I feel like Mike Miller has kind of tapped into Julius Randle a little bit. I was very impressed the way he played for the most part of the game. Listen, he's still going to turn over the ball.
Well, he had 5 of them last night. I wasn't happy with those, but
yeah, but I mean, with a good player, you're going to have to live with some of the mistakes they make.
Well, okay, I just want to stop you right there 1 second, Nate, though, because his turnovers are totally avoidable. They really are. His turnovers are avoidable because most of them, all right, I could take, every once in a while he'll have a turnover where he tries to go and he turns it over. But a lot of times his turnovers are because he creates it himself.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
it's not just a travel.
Doing too much.
You know, he's doing too much, trying to dribble too fast, trying to dribble someplace where he shouldn't be. You know, so his turnovers to me are completely avoidable. The occasional travel by a player, you know, is maybe not avoidable, you know, because, you know, you do a move that you do all the time, and sometimes you maybe do it too much, or you take the extra step or whatever it is. And it happens. I get it. But his, to me, are avoidable. They're really avoidable just by good decision making.
I agree. I mean, I think he's still gonna make turnovers. Hopefully, you're hoping it's not at 5 a clip, because that is a lot. Well, point guards shouldn't even average that many turnovers. They have the ball in the hand majority of the time. But for what I'm saying is, look at his stat line last night. He had 30 points, rebounds, 6 assists. He made some big time buckets at the end. I mean, you know, I mean, trust me, man. I hate turnovers too. It's a huge killer of momentum. But if Randle's throwing out that kind of stat line and we win, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I really feel like he's playing his game now. I feel like they're utilizing him in the paint, not thinking as much. He's trying to get to the cup and make a move. And I'm just like, you know, this is what we paid him for. We paid him go in and score at the cup, rebound at a high level, to even assist the ball. I mean, he's an underrated a passer when he's got his head on right. You know, like I said, I mean, I was just impressed with him. I really think that, you know, everybody likes to beat him down because he's the guy that makes the most money and all that. But I mean, you got to say that he's been playing a lot better recently, and you can see it in the point total, the rebounds, the way he's assisting the ball, taking big shots at the end. I mean, I just like what I see from him. If anything, I think that he's going up, and Morris is kind of regressing. And that's why I think that, like I said, they got to do something, because I don't know if you can keep both on the court at the same time.
Well, Morris is definitely regressing right now. Again, under Coach Mike Miller, Julius Randle's averaging 22.6 points per game, 9.6 rebounds, 2.9 assists per game, 2.1 turnovers per game. He's shooting 47.1% from the field and 28.9% from three. The last 3 games, he's averaging 32.7 points per game, 9.7 assists, 9.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 3.3 turnovers, shooting 52.9% from the field and 46.3% from the 3-point line.
Wow.
You know, yeah. And we'll see if he can keep up this level of play. You know,
we got to see against better talent. Obviously, I mean, what Wizards. I mean, I don't really credit their, you know, whatchamacallit.
You don't credit their what?
I don't credit them as a team. I mean, they have so much players that are out right now. I mean, hell, they didn't have Beal, and they still almost barely beat. They almost won. So I need to see Randle step it up against better competition. You know, because then I can say, okay, Miller is pushing the right buttons. I mean, he did play well against the Nets. You know, but I don't think the Nets are that good right now either. So, but we'll see.
You know, with the Wizards, man.
Huh?
With the Wizards, we won last night. Bradley Beal was out. Are the Wizards just a team that are they just a bad matchup for us? Because even last night, the game was just much tighter than it should have been. I'm happy we won, but it was just much tighter than it should have been. Are they just a bad matchup for us or something?
Well, they got a lot of speed. I mean, they got speed, they got athleticism, and I think the Knicks, you know, they just at times they just let them get by or wide open threes. But that's common with the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are never. You're rarely ever going to see a situation, Sim, where the Knicks are just going to run away with the game. I think we're too young, and we don't have the vets blows games out all the time. So you're going to see us blow leads. But the thing about it is, can we finish the game? And against the Wizards, I thought that the Wizards were going to win that game. I just kind of felt it. And like I said, I credit Julius Randle, making some tough baskets at the end. And then us making our free throws. That was a big one, too.
We did. We did.
Making our free throws, man. I mean, we found a way to win the game. That's how you do it. So I don't know like what this is gonna do for us going forward, but it's just good to see that our best player is or the player that we paid the most money to is coming out and playing. I think that he's kind of taken whatever Mike Miller's told him behind closed doors, and he's starting to play like the player we paid him for to be. Now the turnovers, he turned that down, and I'm amazed he shoots 46% in the last 3 games from threes. Because I mean, you know how we feel about him shooting threes.
Well, I mean, that's how we feel about him shooting threes. But if he's going to shoot 42.7%, then obviously he's not going to shoot like that the remainder of the season. But if he's going to shoot a high clip, I don't mind. Right. And like I was telling Andy earlier, a lot of his threes, most of his threes, he's not forcing threes. Every once in a while he does. He does force a three every once in a while, but for the most part, his threes are wide open threes that he shoots. Oh, okay. For the most part. For the most part.
And if you're right about DSJ, man, I think that's gonna put him probably right around the trade deadline to come back if it's a 2-month injury. And I think we're gonna have to wait till the summer. Because I mean nobody's gonna trade for a hurt player. Especially a player just coming back from an injury like that.
Well, that's not exactly true. I mean, the Mavericks traded for Kristaps Porzingis, not knowing what he was going to do. Yeah, it's going to depend on how much the teams like him and how much they think he's going to be able to fit in what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Well, I know the Timberwolves are interested in him, but I don't know. Maybe they go lukewarm now because of that injury. I don't know. I mean,
the thing is this. It's not an injury that you can't come back from. Right. But what it does is it makes it much. It means that we'll be giving up. Another team will be giving up much less. You know what I mean?
And we don't feel like his value is that high anyway.
Yeah. So let me get to a couple phone calls, man, and then I'm gonna come back. All right.
Tim, just mute me, please.
Caller, you're on live with NothinButKnicks. What's popping? All right, I got you, Andy. Caller, you're on live. What's popping?
What's good, sir? Hello?
What's going on with you, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm just a little frustrated here in the chat because people are saying some ridiculous things, man.
Say that again?
People are saying some crazy stuff in the chat.
Oh, what they saying? What, like what?
Well, nine, crazy. It's just things I just don't agree with. Like, well, I'm going to get at you first of all, because you saying that Morris is has been playing bad. He just had one bad game yesterday. He had 22 the day before, the game before.
He did, but I didn't like some of the shots that he was taking.
Like 50% shooting.
But like I said, if you look back at some of the other things, I didn't like some of the shots that he was taking. I felt like he was a little bit too selfish with it and pulling some shots. While he was making some of them, I felt like he was pulling some shots that I just felt like he should have moved the ball a little bit better. We keep talking about, we're trying to get people to move the ball. He's got to be one of them too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, but I'm saying his numbers. All I'm arguing is that his production hasn't really dipped. Just had one bad game, and then from the Trier standpoint, with Trier, is his contract team controlled?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think this is just the last year of his contract, and then he's a free agent, unrestricted free agent.
Well, if he's unrestricted free agent, then I don't think the Knicks are going to get anything for him anyway. So he's going to walk regardless. Because if you trade it to a team, what team is going to want that contract if it's not team controlled? You know what I'm saying? He's going to be able to walk regardless. So
that's true. That's true.
What team is going to put over the edge that they're going to be like, all right, we want this guy.
Right, but it could happen in a package. Or if the
It
Knicks
could happen in the
cease,
package to unload money. I
it
guess.
could. And if another team wanted to unload some money, to get, so that they didn't have it in 2020, or I mean, there's ways. I mean, I get what you're saying though. If he's unrestricted, then yes, he would probably
I
they
guess
probably just
that's the
wouldn't
only
sign
way
him.
I see it. Then you're gonna have to package him.
But I'm just saying,
Now he's gonna work regardless.
I'm just saying, if they do not think that they're gonna bring him back, then you might as well try. I mean, all the team can say is no.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Sim, but that's not at this point. That's not the Knicks' decision because he's unrestricted. That's why I was asking if control.
No, but what I'm saying is, there's a trade deadline. You can still trade them. I'm saying if they're not going to try to bring them back,
you either trade them, either you package them in a deal. If you don't package them in a deal, then most likely gonna walk.
I get that. What I'm saying is this. If the Knicks know that they're not going to bring Alonzo Trier back, that they don't like Alonzo Trier for whatever reason, then by the trade deadline, you might as well give it a try. You can make some phone calls. If nobody wants it because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent and they can sign him in the offseason, then fine. But if I'm Scott Perry and Steve Mills, I'll make phone calls. All they can say to me is no.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said he's either package him in a deal or he's probably gonna end up walking. And what was my other thing? Oh, the Chris Paul thing, bro. Why don't you think Chris Paul will be a good fit?
I didn't say I didn't think he would be a good fit. I think he would be the perfect fit.
Why are you looking at the money like it's a bad thing? It's not.
To me, it is.
Look at it. It's really not. Because right now at this, what are free agents looking at? They're top tier free agents looking at. They're looking at a team that has potential to compete, right? That's a team that's good. And you think the Knicks are really going to be that by 2021?
Let's put it like this. I don't think that what Chris Paul is doing in OKC, I don't think it's going to automatically translate to the Knicks. That's what I think. And then it ends up being another, big contract that you have, and it doesn't translate to what a lot of people think it might translate to. It's a totally different situation in Oklahoma City than it is in New York. They have more stability. They've had the same coach for a few years. We obviously have had 3 different coaches in 3 years, right? So it's not the same stability. I don't think that he does the same thing there as he's doing in New York. I just don't think it happens. I don't know. I could be wrong.
But this is where I'm going to argue your point, though. It's 2 years. It's basically 2 years after this. So you pay him 1 year, and then the second year he becomes an asset. So either way, it's not a bad thing. Unlike Westbrook, that's 3 years after the season. So it's basically you eating him up for 1 year, and then the second year you could trade him for assets because that money you could use to unload. So from a business standpoint, it's not that bad of a deal.
Well, you got to hope that somebody wants to take on that $44 million while he's age 36.
And
that's not a guarantee. Could be very tough to do.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't see that he makes $44.6 million at age 36?
What?
I say he makes $44.6 million in the last year of his contract. His contract ends 2022. It's going to be hard to move that he makes $44.2 million. It'd be very hard to move that $44.2 million. It's easy to say, yeah, then he becomes an asset, but that $44.2 million takes up a large part of somebody's cap.
But you know what? You know why I don't. It doesn't bother me because I'm already jaded. I'm a jaded fan already. I don't believe we're getting anybody in 2021.
But you know what?
So might as well use them. Might as well use them. His knowledge or whatever, use him as a player coach, and just have that money there. And what he's basically doing is just the placeholder while our guys develop from his tutelage.
I mean, I
You
get
can
it.
use them
I
in that way
understand
also.
everything about Chris Paul. I understand all of that. I just don't know that it's smart. I just don't know if it's going to be good business to take on that contract in the situation that the Knicks are in. That's just my opinion about it. If they did it, I'm gonna ride with it because I'm a Knicks fan. I just don't think it'll be a good business decision. I don't think he's gonna bring the change to the team that people think he might. He might make them better. I don't think he's gonna do what OKC. I don't think he's gonna do that because there's a lot more. You got to have a lot more pieces in place from the top to the bottom. I feel.
I'm not saying he's gonna help them get to the playoffs. I'm saying he's gonna help them to. I'm looking at it from a developmental standpoint. I'm not looking at it as a competitive standpoint. Because what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking in the core, in our rookie core. I'm not thinking about competing because we're not gonna. I don't see this team competing in the next couple of years with this front office. Now, if the front office changes, then it's a different conversation. But as long as we have this front office, I don't see it.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Knicks are going to make that trade. I really don't. I don't foresee them making that move.
I don't either, but I'm
just
saying it for the sake of conversation because I see people, they were bringing it up, constantly bringing it up. I mean, I would do it, but I would do that over the Westbrook. But that's
I wouldn't move for Westbrook either.
Because Westbrook is way worse.
Yeah, I'm definitely not moving for Westbrook. Because at least if they did move for CP3, I guess you would understand why, right? You would understand, like everything you were explaining about culture building and all that kind of stuff. But Westbrook, he doesn't bring any of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Definitely not moving for Westbrook.
And he's not efficient. Like, come on.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't.
Sorry.
Not touching Westbrook.
Not at all.
Hey, man, I appreciate your call, man.
All right, no doubt.
All right, man. Peace. The one thing I want to say that I hope as Knicks fans we can be consistent on, when we look at free agency, right? We always say, I don't think we're gonna get this. I don't think we're gonna get that. But I don't think you can't say I don't think we're gonna get this. So because I don't think we're gonna get it, we'll go ahead and make moves that eat up our cap space. I don't think that's smart. I think you prepare. You prepare just in case. And if it doesn't happen, then you use your money in other ways. And it doesn't have to be signing free agents. You use your money in other ways, right? Now, if they can find a way to pull in Chris Paul and still have money open and still keep their cap flexible, okay, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I don't think it would be as easy to move Chris Paul in that last year as a lot of people think, right? Because it's $44 million. So if you're moving Chris Paul in that last year, guess what? That team that's taking, there's two options. You're either moving him to a team that wants to clear cap space, which means you've got to take back cap space. You don't want to do that. Not when you're a team like us. You take back cap space when you are a team that is, you think you can contend. So you bring in players that can help you contend, even if they, make you go over the cap. Or you're a team that has a whole lot of cap space and you're going to bring back, first round draft picks or something like that. All right. I guess you could do that with OKC. I don't think OKC, with the way that they are right now, listen, OKC is probably feeling the same way about Chris Paul that many of you all feel, that many of Knicks fans feel, that Chris Paul will help build that culture and move you on to the next thing. I'm pretty sure they feel the same way about him there. So why wouldn't they just say, hey, we'll keep him too? Right? We'll keep him too. You guys want to use Chris Paul as a team builder, as a mentor, as a leader, as a tutor. But that's what we have him for as well. So that's one thing. Okay? So he probably has value to OKC. All right? Now, so that's one thing. They probably wouldn't even think about moving him. Not right now, because they're 16 to 15. They're in the playoffs in the Western Conference. Okay? But in that last year with Chris Paul, not going to be just that easy. We're either going to have to take back space, take back salary, or we're going to have to move him to another team that has salary space, but then they'll be looking for a first-round pick from us. So it's not just going to be like we're just going to be able to, he becomes this asset in that last year, unless we're trying to trade for a star that has years on their contract. That's the only way that I see it, right? So, maybe we're trading for, and I don't know what star that is. I guess you would have to figure out who has, who's going to have a contract extension that goes, in 2022 is going to have a contract extension that's going to extend for the next 3 or 4 years. And then you can trade Chris Paul so that you can bring back that star. And if someone has a contract extension or a contract in 2022 that extends for 3 years or 4 years, then that team probably just extended that contract, which means they probably are high on that player, and that player is high on that team because they just agreed to a contract extension. I don't know. So that's why I'm not really on the whole CP3 thing, man. I'm just not on it. I don't think that it's a smart thing for the Knicks to do, to eat up that amount of cap space when you're not a team that's contending for anything. Listen, if you make the playoffs with the players that we have, having, not, low salary, our highest paid player is $21 million a year. If you're able to do it like that, then you do it like that until you're at that point where you're ready to take it over the top. You know what I'm saying? But the best thing to do is to keep your cap clean so that when a transformative player, and I guess people are arguing that he's transformative because of what he brings outside of basketball, what he brings, the intangibles that he brings. So people are believe that makes him transformative to this franchise. I get it. I'm not ready to take that plunge. I'm just not ready to do it. I don't think it would be good basketball move to take that plunge. Let's talk about Reggie Bullock, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's talk about Reggie Bullock. Because Reggie Bullock, he's close to coming back. I don't know when that's going to be, but sometime next year is just a couple of days away, Reggie Bullock will be back, ready to play for the Knicks. Now, obviously, there's going to be some time before he just steps on the court. All right, but this is what Reggie Bullock has to say. Being around the league for a while, knowing how winning teams do things, I was helping the young guys and being a voice when I was on the sidelines, Bullock said. Talking about the Knicks. He was helping the young guys with the Knicks while he was on the sidelines. Everyone on the team knows what I bring to the table, and it's getting closer. It's getting closer to him coming back. Now, we're talking about trades and moving players and things like that. You know what he's going to bring. Hopefully, when he comes back, he still has his shot. Hopefully he's still able to play the type of defense that we anticipated him bringing to the table. And if he does come back, and hopefully he comes back in January, I think it would be good for him to come back in January because you'll get a chance to see exactly what you have in him. And then, does he make anybody else expendable if he's able to come in and play well? I'm not expecting him to come in and give us 18 points a game. I'm not expecting him to, to do anything like that. I want him to come in and play defense, and shoot the three and knock down the three. That's all I'm expecting from Reggie Bullock this season. That's it. Play defense, knock down the three. And if he can do that, it's another wing player that can go from shooting guard to small forward. He makes some guys expendable a little bit. You might make some guys expendable. So, if you're going to trade Wayne Ellington, if you might trade Marcus Morris, now you got another wing guy that's going to come right into that spot that hopefully can provide some, like I said, defense and three-point shooting. That's what we'd be looking for from Reggie Bullock. I don't know when he comes back, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him come back and play. And like I said, it's going to make some guys expendable, man. Let me see. Let's see who we got here. Gomes. You're new to the chat. Say what's up to my man Gomes. Hopefully I'm saying it right.
This is Gomes from India. Yeah.
Gomes?
Yeah, I'm calling all the way from Bangalore, India. Yeah.
Oh, man. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for calling in. Let me ask you this. How did you become a Knicks fan in India? Or are you from the States?
I became a Knicks fan. No, I'm not from the States. I'm born and brought up here. I have not been outside the country at all. So I'm an NBA fan, and I became a Knicks fan because of a person we traded away.
Because of who?
Kristaps. Because of Kristaps.
Okay. You became a Knicks fan because of KP, and then they traded KP away. Because I always wonder, okay, I can understand if you grow up in New York, right? You're a young man in New York, and or a young lady in New York, and you grow up, right? You're a Knicks fan. You might be a Knicks fan, right? But people who are in other countries that are young, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26 years old, right? The Knicks have never been a good team in your recent memory, maybe 2012, 2013. So I always wonder, in another country, in India, how you become a Knicks fan. But okay, so KP. KP brought you to
Let me explain you that. Actually, how it works is internationally, people don't root for teams. They root for players. And the players who belong to a certain team, you root for them as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, it kind of happens like that in the States now, too.
So that is how it works.
Breaking up on me a little bit, Gomes. You're breaking up on me a little bit. I'll get back to you as soon as you come back. All right. Mark, I know how you feel about Reggie Bullock. You don't really care, right?
No, I was just thinking about it. If he could space the floor and shoot, man, it's just a plus, man, because we are in dire of another shooter or just a threat on the floor.
Yeah, sorry.
Or another threat on the floor, and he could shoot the ball. So I would like to just see him on the floor since we're not playing guys like Trier and stuff like that or Wayne Ellington. So he could come back and play. Don't matter with me.
Now,
change of thought.
Now here's the thing, though. But here's the thing: our defense is getting better.
Yeah.
And if he can come in and play defense, he can maybe take this team to hopefully help take the team to another level defensively, because that's one of the things that he does. He is a defender.
Well, I would say this.
Hard-nosed defender.
I would say this. He won't be a problem on defense. Like, I won't worry about him. I would just say, listen, it's not that it's kind of our backline defense what hurt us the most, with guys that don't know how to guard the pick and roll properly. And then it always leads us into doubling the paint more of the times to leave the damn three-point open. So I guess he's good on the perimeter, but it's our guys that's in the middle that has to be able to close out on certain things. That's why our defense is the way it is, because if you can't close out properly, no matter what, not just one play come and help you. It's the backline defense. So guys like Randle and Mitch and whoever you have at the 3 spot has to be able to read those reads on the back end.
Well,
that's true. The back end we get killed on.
That's true.
A lot of back end we get killed on.
That's definitely true.
I propose to you, this will be a game changer for the Knicks and kind of building something here. Why don't the Knicks go and try to trade for Michael Beasley? Because Denver's not going to be able to pay him next year.
You said Michael Beasley?
Mike Beasley, that plays for Denver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, him. He can play. He's a defensive player. He can shoot. And Denver can't pay him because they gave him an extension. He didn't take it. So he's looking to be a free agent. But it's good to go trade for him now and bring him here and see if we could get him on a good deal. Because I think he would be a piece that we would need to build something, because he has a defensive identity. Because if you watch last year in the playoffs, if they didn't have him, they wouldn't have made where they made it to. He played big time in the playoffs last year, and I really, really like him. He's a bench player, so he don't really get much starting minutes. But when he does play, the dude is a plus, and he plays basketball really well. And I think that's a young player the Knicks needs and should go after if we're trading some of these guys with packages and stuff like that. So with Bullock,
you mean Malik Beasley though?
Malik, my bad. Malik Beasley, sorry, him. He's a good swing man that could defend, shoot threes, drive, kick, pass, has IQ on a basketball, and he's playing in a great system. So you have to have IQ to play in the Denver system. So I like that. I like that a lot with him to be a 2 or 3. Even if he plays at the bench, he could come off the bench. So I would like that. I would like to bring him in, try to trade for him and bring him in as soon as possible if we can. But other than that, Reggie Bullock, man, listen, come back. Let's see what you can do. You know, I think he's going to be able to spread the floor because we do need shooting, though, Sim. We really do.
We need more shooting. We definitely need more shooting.
Need shooting. And I think he's consistent enough where I say, okay, we could at least stretch defenses a little more than what we can now, because we have a problem that we're not spreading the floor enough. The spacing is just horrible sometimes when you watch the Knicks, man.
Well, we don't have anybody that can really knock it down from 3. I mean, I'll say this. They tried to bring in some guys that can knock it down from 3. It hasn't panned out that they're knocking it down from 3. Bobby Portis, Wayne Ellington, they're not knocking it down from 3. Obviously, Marcus Morris is hitting it at 47% from the field so far this season.
He looked like he took some. He's having a great season, bro.
You know,
with the percentages.
The last three games, Julius Randle's been hitting it from 3. We need some other people.
He's been good. He's been good.
We need some other people to be able to knock it down from 3. I'm looking at warm-ups, man. Frank could go 10 for 10 from the 3-point line. He can't do it when it comes to the game.
Sim,
game time come, he can't knock it down.
Bro, I don't know what it is in that kid's head. I would just want to speak to him one time in my life, and I just want to ask him, bro, why don't you attack the paint when you can get to the spot when you want? I don't understand. If you're gonna handle the ball, you're supposed to create for others. You're not supposed to just be standby.
I will tell you this. I will say this. What I saw last night, which you might not be able to see close up on TV, he called his own number once or twice.
Yeah.
Right? He came down the court. He pushed, I think maybe, I don't know if it was RJ Barrett, whoever it was in the corner. He pushed him down. He told somebody else to move.
Oh, I seen that. When he
called
pushed,
Bobby Portis up, come off the screen. He pulled the 3. He missed it, but he called his own number.
Yeah, you know what he's good? He's good at play calling when you want him to run something. Like, he can command that. But a part of his game, what can expand his game, is you have to take charge. Like, when you come in this league, Sam, and you're the point guard, anywhere you go in life, bro, your job is to take control of the game when it calls for you, okay? And you being on the Knicks, it calls for you to be assertive, okay? You cannot be a point guard and not be able to be assertive, especially with the type of talent that we have on our team that needs to be relied on a point guard's dribble penetration. If we're not getting that, you're not going to see shots from Knox because he's allergic to getting the ball. He's allergic to getting the ball when he wants to get it as a scorer. You think he'll want the ball or call for it? He's allergic to that. RJ sometimes defer. I hate when he defers. Oh my God, it kills me. But sometimes he be just deferring, man, and I hate it.
19 years old, man. He's 19 years old.
Yeah. But
it's gonna happen. He's 19.
No. Sam, he's played in bigger games and he's played with better he played with official athletes.
But
He's
that's
been
not
assertive
that's
in
not
his
what
life.
when I'm saying he's 19. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
people just don't get it sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When someone is 19 years old, they're still a child. They're still a child.
Yeah, I understand.
And you're playing
Hold
with
on,
someone
sis.
who's
Hold on.
25, 26 years old. Your mentality is like, okay, you know what?
Right.
It's just natural. It's just
I
natural.
understand
You're gonna get a ball to that person. It's just a natural thing. It happens like that.
No, that's understandable. That's understandable. But in life, right? When you want to reach the next level, right? You can't. Sometimes you have to call your own number. You have to call your own number sometimes.
I get it. But
Okay?
listen, RJ already has that in him. It's gonna
I understand.
happen, but he's got to build the confidence, build the respect. Those things got to build. Like just like you're saying in life, when you go to a job and you're 19 years old, you just walking on the scene. Think about it. Let's just think about this in reality, in the real world sense of things, right? He's been at his first job ever. I don't know if he worked at Subway or something in high school. Who knows? But he's been at his first job ever, first legitimate career.
Bro, RJ been working at Apple his whole life.
But listen what I'm saying. We're talking about your career now, not working at Apple.
Okay.
All right? You're at your first job, and he's been there for what? 6 months?
Okay.
If that, 6 months. Okay?
Okay.
So if you're 19 years old, you're 22 years old, you graduated college, you go to your first job, okay? You don't automatically take control. You're learning the ropes. You're learning things. You're learning from people who have been at this job, and I'm not talking about the Knicks, been at this job for a while. You're watching, you're observing, you're seeing what's going on. You're learning the ropes. You know what I'm saying? He's been at this for 6 months. He's not automatically just gonna, bam, I'm the leader. I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna do that. It doesn't happen like that. Not in the NBA, not in real life, bro.
I'm not saying like that. I'm saying sometimes when you see possessions, when the ball is in his head and it's warrant for him to go, sometimes there's plays where he has advantages, and sometimes he looks to the fur, and then sometimes you got to take what's given to you. And a lot of times, there's a lot of plays where I see the kid where he could take advantage of the next person. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you come in and you do, but there's sometimes on the court where the play calls for you, and it's up for you to take advantage of that spot, because that's what makes stars in this league, okay? That's how you assert yourself on a team. That's how you assert yourself the best player on the team. You hear what I'm saying? This is basketball. This ain't no 9-to-5 job. This is basketball. And if you want to be that guy in this city, when the time calls for you to be assertive, you have to
I feel you.
Okay? I'm not saying the kid has to come in and take the crown. But I'm saying there's times where I see him deferring and going into the corner. I don't like that for him. That's not his game. And when you put plays in that situation, it's gonna take it takes a while. You kind of want to ramp up his progression, especially in a situation like this, because you want to see what he can do and what he can't do. And like with him, there's certain things we know what he can do, but you want to see more activity with him, because the last 10, 15 games, he wasn't as active. He's not as active like how he was in the beginning, where he was scoring and things. It's kind of, he took a step back, and I just kept watching him drift to the corner, and he's not a good shooter to be doing that. In that case,
I get it, but he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure it out, especially since
he's trying to figure it out.
Especially since he hasn't been shooting well. You know, his confidence might be dipping a little bit too, just as far as shooting the ball. You know what I mean? So his confidence might be dipping. Let me come back to you, Mark, because I do want to respond to in the YouTube chat. I want to respond to B-Baller for real. He said, "Explain Doncic to me." I'll explain this, right? Every field you go to, there's going to be, I don't want to say a genius, but there's going to be someone that's on another level. Any field you go to, whether it's basketball, whatever it is, Any field you go to, there's going to be somebody there. You can't make that the standard for everybody else. When you have somebody who is special, you can't make that the standard for everybody else. Okay? All right? Just because someone comes in there that way, okay, let's put it like this. Let's talk about Mike Tyson for a minute. Mike Tyson came in at 19, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen to Luka. Mike Tyson came in at earlier than 19, whatever age he came in. Mike Tyson came in early, knocking everybody out, world champion, unbeatable. Later in his career, it fizzled. And he was getting knocked out by Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and other scrubs that jumped up there. Right? It fizzled. People have different career arcs. Other people, like a Lennox Lewis, like Evander Holyfield, well, let's say Lennox Lewis came in, he didn't have the same thing from the start, but he ended up being a world champion too. And knocking out Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet. It happens differently. So you can't take something that's special and make it the standard for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Luka's not going to be the standard for every rookie that comes in the league. Luka's not going to be the standard for every rookie that is expected to be a star player. Luka is Luka. He's an outlier. That's what it's called, an outlier. So you can't make an outlier the standard. You can't do that. You just can't make an outlier the standard. I'm sorry. LeBron's an outlier. Luka's an outlier. Right? They're outside of that. And you can't make that the standard. The standard is that he's a young man that's learning his way around the professional league of the NBA. There's a lot that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? He's a young man that's learning his job and learning his career. So you can't really say that he's Luka. Or you can't explain it. Lenny Kewis, yes, I understand that Luka has a good head on his shoulders. I'm not saying he's going to be like Mike Tyson. I'm just showing you the differences between Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson and how one's career started one way and one's career started the other way. You know, whether or not Mike Tyson was a lunatic, a head case, it's my favorite boxer though, so be careful. But anyway, whether or not it is, their career is still fizzled. His career is still fizzled. And their careers went in opposite directions. It went this way. Mike Tyson's up here, Lennox Lewis down here, and it flipped. And I'm not saying Luka's going to be that way. Right? I'm just saying that you can't make the outlier the standard. You know what I mean? Can't make the outlier the standard. And I think that he'll be fine. I think RJ will be fine. He's just a young man learning his way around the NBA. Call it, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey,
getting over 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
First time calling. Question, man. I'm trying to get a understanding on and we have a whole bunch of 1-year deals, and these players like Morris. I'm trying to assess the value. I'm having a tough time with that. I understand Morris maybe to somewhere in the West Coast. Somebody wants him, maybe a late first rounder. But I like the Bullocks, the Bobby Portis. I'm trying to assess their trade value and what's your thoughts on that?
Marcus Morris, I'll be honest with you. At the beginning of the season, I said I didn't think he's going to net first round pick. Sounds like at least from sources that are out there that maybe he would net the Knicks a first round pick. We'll see. You know, depending on the team, if it's a team like the Clippers who really think he takes him over the top, then maybe he does. You know, so we'll see if Marcus Morris can net that. I think people understand what Marcus Morris is, though. Now, you know, they're not going to expect him to come in and be a guy that's going to average 18 points for them or 20 points for them. They might expect him to be a guy that's going to knock down a high clip from the three-point line since he's doing it for the Knicks. if he continues to do it for the remainder of the season. Now, remember, Marcus Morris himself said that last season he started off shooting this high from the three-point line, and then it fizzled off in the second half of the season. So we'll see how that goes for Marcus Morris. So if the Knicks were going to move him, I mean, I guess, well, they would have no choice but to move him by the deadline. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, move him. If they're going to move him before that three-point shooting begins to fizzle off, right?
What do you
Bobby
think about
Portis,
these other players?
you know, with
What do you
Bobby
think about these
Portis,
other players, like, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, with Bobby Portis, he's not living up to that $15 million a year, in my opinion. Now, will a team take him? Maybe, because of his contract, the way his contract is structured. They may trade. You're not going to get a first-round pick for him, though. I don't think so. You're not getting a first-round pick for Bobby Portis. You know, you might get a second-round pick or something like that.
In the second round, we got to get picks.
Say that again?
You know, I'll take another second-round draft pick like Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
But the thing is,
one thing I do like about the organization is, although, you know, I respect them picking up Trier. I respect them picking up Robinson. You know, maybe I've been in New York, but, you know, I'm born and raised here and been watching bad basketball that I don't even know what a good team looks like anymore, man. I'm hurting. But I do recognize they have some talent, and, you know, I do respect their eye for talent. So, like, them picking up Trier, Robinson, you know, sticking with, you know, even Barrett. You know, I'm hoping they could draft somebody.
yeah. Well, we'll see, man. And, you know, with Bobby Portis, also with him making $15 million, no team is going to. If a team, you know, teams aren't really going to be coveting Bobby Portis the way that they might covet Marcus Morris. So, you know, it's going to be harder to move him and get back something that is, you know, something that you like as far as salary cap and all that kind of stuff. So, see how that works, man. Hey, my man, I appreciate you calling in. About to head off of here today.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I got some things that I got to get to, ladies and gentlemen. So I can't be on all night long. So I'm gonna get back to the YouTube chat, to the video chat, let you guys get a little, you know, 30-second to you know, take us out of here. All right, because I'm headed to Baltimore right now. I'm headed to Baltimore. Go hang out in Baltimore a little bit with my family and visit the school that my daughter wants to attend and stuff like that. All right, so I can't be on too long or too late. Wish that I could. But let me get back over here to you guys, and we're going to, you know, I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds, man. A good 30 seconds, a true 30 seconds, too. Mark, excuse me, give me 30 seconds, man. Take us out of here.
I want to give props with his dude. Randle, you're doing good for the last 3 games. Keep it up. And Sim, have a nice travel to be more. The chat, holla back. I will be back in motion by next week.
Yeah, man. Get healthy, man.
Not gonna let this sickness take me down.
Nah, get healthy.
Go burn it out right now.
Yeah, get healthy. Get healthy, man. If you can go get on the court, play some ball. That'll help.
No, I'm about to take my bike and ride it off. Ride it off the
okay, that'll work too, man.
The cliff.
That'll work too. Get healthy. All right, man.
Bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Andy, give you 30 seconds, man. Take us out of here.
Yeah, glad to be back. Like you guys said, props to Julius. But guys, when you watch him, ask yourselves if those shots are really good shots. If you would see another guy taking those shots, and would you be happy with it? I'm gonna give more props to Mike Miller. I'm happy that he has those, you know, those 6 wins in 11 games, 5 wins in 11 games, if I'm correct. It's still better than Fizz, but you can't blame everything on Fizz because he didn't have, you know, Alfred on the court. And we're gonna see how Reggie is gonna, you know, elevate this team. Let's hope he get on a winning streak.
All right, man.
Peace out, guys.
We played Portland next, so they blew us out last time. They smacked us last time. Let's see if we can come back with something this game.
Yeah.
Melo's gonna be at the Garden. Melo's back at the Garden after what? 3 years? 2 years? First time in the Garden.
Two and a
2 years?
half, I think. 2.5.
Yeah.
He was with
Okay.
OKC here, I think. So
Yeah. Yeah. So fans gonna be ready for that one. All right, Andy.
yeah, peace,
All right,
guys.
later. Nate. Hold up. Let me get you unmuted.
Oh.
Go ahead, man. You good?
Yeah, man. Mike Miller, he's doing some good things. I don't think a lot of people are giving him the respect he deserves from kind of, taking what was left with Fizdale and kind of righting the ship and all that. It's hard as an interim coach to get the team to buy in after you fire the main coach. And it seems like they're starting to play a lot better. And I don't know if you read an article. It was the Bleacher about Jeff Van Gundy making a point to keep Mike Miller as head coach. That was a really good article. Or they talked to him about it. He said yeah, he can coach. He's a good coach. Now I don't know if it's Jeff Van Gundy trying to take his name off the list, but I thought that was interesting, and we're gonna come through a stretch here with Portland. They're playing Lakers, right? They're playing some West Coast teams.
Well, we play Portland and then we go on a little West Coast trip, I think.
Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be a good opportunity where this team is kind of right now. After winning against some decent teams, I think that Mike Miller is going to continue to try to stack some more wins, and then see how the team responds. So I don't know, man. It's kind of hard because I'm at that point where I'm just I don't really want to win too many games because I think it's going to take our chances out of the draft status.
I don't even want to hear about that. I'm cutting you off. Get out of here. I don't even want to hear about that. I'm trying to win basketball games, man. The Knicks play the Portland Trail Blazers. They play the Portland Trail Blazers January 1st at 7:30 to be on NBA TV. Carmelo Anthony is coming back to the Garden for the first time in 2.5 years. Then after that, the Knicks is heading out to the West Coast for some tough basketball games, ladies and gentlemen. So they got to be ready. We play the Phoenix Suns. We play the Los Angeles Clippers. Then we play the Los Angeles Lakers. Then we play the Utah Jazz. Then we're back home for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's going to be a difficult trip. Each one of those teams are in the playoffs in the Western Conference. So that's going to be a difficult trip right there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the Knicks play Portland Trail Blazers January 1st at home. Carmelo Anthony is coming back to the Garden. That should be electric. The Knicks, the players need to feed off the energy that's going to be in the building. There's going to be a lot of players, the fans are going to be hyped to see Melo. Right, the Portland Trail Blazers right now, they're 8th in the Western Conference. They're 14 and 19. They're the 8th seed in the Western Conference. And my bad, folks, Phoenix is not in the playoffs in the Western Conference. They're 12 and 20. All right, so the Knicks play Portland Trail Blazers, who they got blown out. They got blown out a couple games ago. They're 14 and 19 on a 3-game losing streak. Then they play Phoenix. The Phoenix Suns are on a 1-game win streak at this point. We'll see what they are when the Knicks play them. They're 12 and 20. Then we play the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Utah Jazz. Then we come home and play the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, so we'll see what the Knicks can do in this stretch. We'll talk about it in the game preview tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys for jumping on with me. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.
That's the